Kickstarter has started off 2022 on fire, and we have got 6 to talk to you guys today about. Let's get into it. Alright guys, as you heard at the top, Kickstarter has literally been on fire. Trying to come up with 6 for this episode was really hard. And it's not that we're picking a specific number, it's just, it was hard to actually narrow down from probably about 15 or so.
So many.
There's so many. I mean, and when we say on fire, it's like you need to get on there right now. There is so much good stuff.
Yeah.
With that said, like I said at the top, we have 6. He's got 3. I've got 3. Couple of honorable mentions. And slight disclaimer. If you hear a little clickety-clack on the ground, that's the puppos running around. We've got 2 over here. Of course, you all know Ham Puppo. We've got Snuggy Doug, who's off-screen over there, just napping. So, just in case you hear a little bit, that's what's going on. With that said, we're going to jump right into it. What are we, rock, paper, scissors, and who's going first here, or how you want to play this?
No, let's do a Hoss goes first.
Okay, all right. I suck at Rochambeau, so I would have lost anyway. All right, so the first one I've got to talk to you guys about, first of all, thank you, Dave Lentz, for showing this one to us. Of course, as you all know, 90% of what we back is stuff that Dave letters, so guess what? He letters this one. We're talking about Metal Shade number 0. The creative team on this one is Isaac Bell and Alexa Lowe. And let me tell you guys, the art is insane. Chef's kiss. If you're a fan of 90s Image comics, but turned to 10, that's what this book looks like to me, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of magic, science, and dystopian worlds, this has all 3 of them in it. It literally kind of centers around a hacker that finds code for basically the end of the world. It's a way to bring gods back to life, and she's normally quite lazy. I mean, but she now is trying to figure out how to spring an action and save this. And this is kind of like the prequel to the series, which already has 2 issues out. And I'm excited. I am super excited just based on what we saw on the few panels that they had on the Kickstarter. It looks amazing. And the cool part is from what I'm seeing, it's well on its way to the stretch goals being unlocked to where we'll get PDFs of issue 1 and 2. So now we can just basically read the whole story, and we're caught up by the time they decide to do issue 3, which, I'm not going to lie, I have a feeling that not only me, but I think Jay and Jen are going to like this book. So pretty much we're going to be in for the series going forward.
Oh yeah, I've read the panels.
Yeah.
I've read them.
It's insane.
So once again, if you notice the camera moved around for some reason, hand just wants to lay next to it. So if you see little shifts every once in a while, pay it no mind. All right, Sean, where were you, buddy?
All right, so as I was saying, even the panels that they showed that are just the pencils and inks looked amazing. Let alone when you just add the colors, then it just makes it utterly insane. Jay already said it at the top of the show. It's chef's kiss.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Dave picks Dave, you know how to pick your projects, man. You really do. Because it feels like everything you're on is something that I end up loving.
Yeah. But the crazy thing is, and I can understand it having looked at a few of the panels, Dave flat said that this has been a bit of a challenge to letter. And I can see it. There's a lot of dialogue on some of these pages, but it's done so well that you can just follow it all the way around the page. It all makes sense. It all fits together. There's a purpose for any sound effect, each piece of dialogue. It all makes sense. And I'm really, really looking forward to it because Isaac and Alexa really have this thing together, I think.
Yeah.
So that is the first one I've got. This ends on March 10th, 2022. Be sure to get yours. We backed it. By the way, I just thought I'd put that out there. We got the $35 tier. It's two connecting
that's right, yeah.
covers. So I'm really excited to see what those look like when we get them. And trust me, we will unbox them and you will see how awesome this book is.
Very, very dope. All right, for mine, I got one that's ending pretty soon. But it's called Vampire Detective in Space. This one's written by Caleb Palmquist, who also writes another book that I've seen a couple times called Unicorn Vampire Hunter. It is a unicorn that hunts vampires. It looks awesome.
I'm going to say, how have we not read that yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait till you hear the rest of this one.
Okay.
The art is by a man named Dave Schwartz, who also writes and illustrates his own comic called Confederate Monster, which combines the lore of Frankenstein with the American Civil War. That sounds super interesting.
Okay.
I need to look that up.
All right.
Now, the reason I'm surprised we haven't read this, because this is lettered by Dave Lentz, who, if y'all don't know Dave by now, he's done work with Source Point Press, with Scout, with Bad Bug. This gentleman's everywhere. He's not only a letterer, but he's also a designer. Super cool. And this book, he's working on it, so you know it's probably going to be great. The synopsis on this, it centers on two characters, James and Liz. And James is a vampire detective living on a space station, solving crimes the cops can't figure out. Liz is his snarky AI assistant. What's not to love? As of filming, they are super close to their goal. I want to say they're like $500-600 off. This one ends February 26th, so be sure to check this one out. Dave Lentz worked on it, so you know it's going to be gold.
Oh. I just want to know how the heck did nobody come up with a vampire in space as a detective, let alone Frankenstein and the Civil War. Okay. Goes to show that when I think I'm being creative, you guys make me look silly. All right. So my next one is called Area 51, The Helix Project. And this is actually issue 4 of a 6-part series, which how I have not heard of this before now, after reading everything, kind of stumps me. So this is one of those, if you enjoy UFO conspiracy, challenging conceptions of society, mental health, and memory and identity, this tackles all of that. It kind of centers around Kent, who's the main character, who is a half extraterrestrial hybrid kind of character.
Oh, cool.
And he's trying to piece together his father's death. So this has sounded like it's been a very super twisty-turny series. I mean, if I remember right, maybe we'll put it up on screen, but the cover for one of the issues is literally like ripping the skin off of the face, and you see the skull and everything.
That's awesome.
The art is, again, it's absolutely insane. One of the things that really caught me when I was glancing through the project that sold me on the whole thing, one of the whole panels, it's like a big 1 or 2 page panel, is done like a puzzle. And it's then they drew it in as puzzle pieces in between the actual picture. So it's like from what I'm gathering anyways, because I have not read it, it's like he's piecing the puzzle together, and boom, and now it's kind of like, it's really, really cool.
What an awesome concept.
Yeah, so that is literally what sold me on this whole thing. So I am super excited for this. You guys definitely should check it out. This one does also end pretty soon. It ends on February 28th. So as of this filming, that would give it about 10 days, give or take, till it's done, but definitely worth the look if you're just a big fan of everything I named at the top. I mean, I love UFO conspiracy theory stuff, just that kind of stuff in general.
Yeah.
And mental health, not to get too sidetracked, that's something that I've struggled with for a long time. So when people put that in and they do a good job of it, it definitely is intriguing for me. So with that said, this one was written and created by Trevor Fernandez Lankowitz. Please tell me if I said that right. Art by Marcelo Salaza. Colors by Marcio Luis Freire. If I'm close, please let me know. If I'm way off, again, please let me know. And letters by Taylor Esposito, which I feel like I've heard that name before.
Oh, we've talked about him.
I feel like he's been on a few projects, but yeah. And these are all guys that have done stuff with, name a company. They've been around the block. So again, this ends February 28th. Area 51, The Helix Project.
Very, very cool. All right, so the next one I'm going to talk about, you're going to notice kind of a pattern here when I get to my last one. But the second one I'm going to talk about is called The Hunger. This is a project where the goal's already been met. The synopsis for this one, I only took a little blurb of it, so if you want to read the rest of it, make sure you check out the link. But the little blurb I took was, a young woman with a haunting past provides for her community and cares for those she loves in hopes of redeeming herself for her sins. Now, let me tell you the reason why, not only does this look interesting, but I'm a little biased towards it, and you'll find out here in a second. So this was created by Jordan Nye, written by Garrett Gunn, art by Stan Yak, and colors by Robert Nugent. This one ends March 12th, but again, it's no disrespect to anybody, but when I see the name Garrett Gunn on a book, I'm like, yep, I gotta get it. I gotta back it, I gotta talk about it, because Garrett is a fantastic writer. So again, we'll have the link so you can go down there and check it out. We'll have links to everything. We always do, you know that. But super quick on that one. Again, it ends March 12th. Looks super intriguing, and I'm here for it.
Not to mention, that's not the first time Garrett and Staniak have worked together, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So
Zombie.
they're a killer team.
They worked on a zombie thing together, I believe. Zombies are people too, or something like. I wish I would have written that down, but I totally forgot about it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right.
So what you? Oh. So before we get to Sean's last one, real quick, I want to give an honorable mention to a book that I've been following, which is another book that Dave showed me that he works on. Because, it wouldn't be a Kickstarter corner without Dave's name being mentioned at least 4, 5, 6 times.
Yes.
I'm surprised he hasn't worked on every project we're talking about in this one. But this one is Pocus Hocus. Ends on February 24th. I believe that's a Thursday. It's already funded. I think it's met twice its goal. This team is incredible. That's Alan Dunford, Will Radford, Jason Smith, Brian Belando, Dave Lentz. Kit Wallace has done some covers. Stephanie Mooney has done some covers. There's probably a plethora of people that I'm forgetting that have worked on this book, but I love this book. This is one of those books that, again, I break my rule on it. This and another one that I'll talk about next month makes me break my rule, because I'm like, I have to get everyone. I have to. Like, I can't just be like, okay, I'll back one and get the trade. And I do that because if I backed everything I wanted back, I would need 3 more jobs and would never have time to make videos. So, that is Pocus Hocus one more time, February 24th. Go check that out. Go back.
Alrighty, so my last one is definitely off the beaten path compared to where I was on these first two, because these first two were very sci-fi, fun, just the whole other side of the coin. Well, now we're going to go to the Old West.
Yeah.
This one is called The Kid and the Ripper, and this is an 88-page graphic novel. And if the title doesn't give away what 2 characters are in this, let me just tell you, this is about Billy the Kid and Jack the Ripper. Get this synopsis.
Oh my goodness.
These 2 fake their deaths and go west to California to start a new life. Well, the idea of starting a new life between the 2 is very, very different, and it comes into conflict, apparently, between the 2 of them at some point in this book. So that is the synopsis. The creator of this book is Nicholas Doan. Let me know if I'm even close. Art by Jake Bilbo. Colors by Felipe Orojo, and letters by Bobby Timoney. All these are big names that have worked with Marvel, DC, Image. I mean, and they've all done some of the most stunning covers.
Huh.
Yeah. And then the cover is done by David Palumbo. Let me not forget that, because it is an awesome looking cover. This one ends on March 3rd, 2022. So if you're a fan of Westerns and you're a fan of these 2 historical characters, which a lot of us are, because the mythos surrounding the 2 of them is, you name it. There's so many different takes on these two characters.
This is kind of, I'm not saying it's like it, but it kind of reminds me, because isn't Heathens, like Billy the Kid and a bunch of people hunting the Ripper? Is that the person
Oh yeah,
hunting
that one.
book?
That one's they're hunting the Ripper.
They're hunting the Ripper in this one, and in this one, they're like the Odd Couple, moving out west.
Yeah, but they're not together. It's apparently they're trying to do their own separate things, but they're coming into conflict because what their ideas of a new life is apparently very different. And they've shown some of the art where, like, you see Jack holding a bloody heart in his hand. I mean, just some of the most insane things. Also, I would like to point out that you should go over to the page. If you're a fan of, like, we love getting shirts and stuff like that, they have a couple of logo shirts for this that are some of the coolest I've seen. And it's literally, it's so simple on one of them, but it looks awesome. So they've definitely, if you're a merch person, they've got that for you as well. We try to add fun stuff like that if we can, shirts, bookmarks. We're going to put this out there right now. If you have stickers, that's a huge thing, by the way.
Stickers,
just so you know,
folks.
Stickers. If anybody knows of I'm going to put this out, get a little sidetracked, I'm sorry. If you know of a Kickstarter that is about stickers, please bring it to our attention, because not only have we made it our thing here to collect Kickstarter comics, Jenna is now on a mission to have the world's coolest sticker collection. So, what better place? I know Kickstarter has had a couple of projects with them.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of them. One day we might show them all to you.
Yeah.
But just putting that out there, it's stickers.
I am totally sold on this book, by the way.
Yeah.
I would have never thought about other than, the Heathens, but that's a completely different story. I'm not trying to say that this story sounds the same to me.
No.
It's just the fact that the characters are in that. I would have never thought of doing it this way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, comparatively, it's the writer, Nick, has said he's been trying for a long time to figure out how to do a story. He said when this one kind of came up, it just kind of clicked in his head. He wanted to write a story about these two characters. He just didn't know how.
Well, that sounds super dope.
And he's got it done. And like I said, this takes place in the Old West, where Heathens is modern day.
Yeah. So
far, at least in the first few issues, in New York City.
That's super dope, though.
But it is super cool. Like I said, be ready. This is not a kid-friendly one. It can't be, especially when you have Jack the Ripper involved.
True.
There are some awesome panels. They do a great job of showing you the world. It's just awesome. I am super excited, and for it being a full-length graphic novel, I think you're really going to get an enjoyment in what you pay for out of it, to be perfectly honest on it.
Super dope. Super dope.
So, with that said, let me jump in. I've got another honorable mention, kind of sticking with the theme here. So, this is another Bad Bug book that's going to start here in a few weeks. This is actually one of the few series we don't have from them yet. We were actually going to add this on to probably Pocus until Mike decided to surprise us and be like, no, in a few weeks we're having this Kickstarter going. And so we're talking about Black Jacket. And apparently he's going to do issues 4 and 5 on the same Kickstarter, which is good, because I haven't read 1 through 3, so I'm just going to buy all 5.
Yeah, they're really good about doing like a catch-up tier.
Yep, they do that. They also do great tiers of just adding the rest of their stuff into it, which, like I said, once we had this, that's like half the books we're missing. But yeah, Bad Bug is going to be one of those companies to watch out for. We firmly believe, Jenna firmly believes, that this is going to be like one of those next Source Point Press Scout things where in a few years you're just going to see them everywhere.
Yeah.
And with the titles that they've started off with so far, holy crap. It's going to be, it's been hit after hit after hit. I think we've got at least 3 books or 4 books coming in. They've done how many Kickstarters so far? 2?
Well, let's see. So we've got all of Pocus so far, except for the one that I talked, the little honorable mention I did. Bearskin is one that I backed.
Yep.
And because I backed those 2, I'm going to get the Ragnarok Ashcan, which looks amazing.
Yep. We've got Periwinkle was from last year, and now this. Yep. And then all we've got to do is add His Name is Wrath, which is an add-on to any of their campaigns. And we'll be sure to leave a link to the review video for that, or not really a review, it's a preview, down in the description. I don't know how much more to tell you on that book. I'm just going to let the video speak for itself on that.
Bad Bug. This is their year. There's a couple of companies that I feel they're going to be like that. Bad Bug is definitely one of them.
Yeah, I agree.
They're gonna blow up this year, and we're here for it. We're all here for it.
We're all here for it.
All right, let me get to my last one.
Okay.
So we don't have an 8-hour video going on here.
Sorry,
because we could talk for 8 hours.
I know, but you know how I am. I get on these rants, and I just go over here and go, and you kind of look at me like, dude, WTF, mate.
The last one that I want to talk about is one that we have been excited for after getting the first issue. So, I can't wait. This is going to be Good Boy, but not issue number 2. This is going to be Good Boy Volume 2, issue 1. So the first arc was already completed. This one, instead of doing an issue 2, because we got all the cool stuff, we basically got the whole story with the last campaign, because that campaign rocked. So this one is going to be Volume 2, number 1. It's called Out to Pasture. This Kickstarter made its goal in 30 minutes. And this was not a $2,000, $3,000 goal. I think it was a $10,000 goal.
It was quick.
Half an hour.
Half an hour. By the time I looked at the campaign, it was at 13 or 14,000. Like, they'd already hit 1 or 2 of the first stretch goals. Before Jay gets too far into this, he's going to read you the synopsis, which sounds amazing. This is the best series in comics, in my opinion. I'm just going to say that right now. Okay, I'm done.
For me, it's one of the best. It's one of the best. I have so many things I'm reading, but it is definitely up there. Let me tell you the synopsis on this one. The first one was very John Wickish. It followed the John Wickish story, except it was like inverted to where John died and the dog lived and he got his revenge. The synopsis for this one: with revenge in his rearview mirror, Flint heads to The Farm, a peaceful community for retired and deactivated guild members. But his dreams are short-lived when he finds the facility in rubble after an attack by a mysterious canine named Tucker, who will stop at nothing to repay a decades-old vengeful debt. And I read that on my phone because I was too lazy to write all that down. It's just easier to read it from the phone. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. I already can't wait for this. We had a hard time. Literally, right before we started this video is when I finally pulled the trigger on which tier we were going to get.
We had a discussion.
We had to have a discussion, and the reason for this is there is a metal cover coming with this one that is done by Tony Fleeks and Trish Forstner, and this is a Good Boy Stray Dogs crossover metal cover. And we had to decide which one we wanted to get. We went with the one that we did, and we're not going to tell you which one it is, of course, because when that unboxing comes, we want everybody to be surprised.
Yeah, surprise.
So this one was written by Dr. Christina Blanche and Garrett Gunn. The art was by Kit Wallace, who also did some really awesome covers. Really awesome covers.
Yep.
And this was lettered by, again, it's not a Kickstarter corner unless we talk about this gentleman 5 or 6 times, by Dave Lentz. And I'm always going to say this. Anything this team does is going to be gold. Mm-hmm. Anything this team does is just going to be awesome. This is going to be published by SourcePoint Press. So if you can't get on the Kickstarter, share it out, but make sure, if you're interested in reading this but don't really do the Kickstarter thing, make sure that you talk to your local comic shop about getting these in, because they will be put in shops. But this is how you get exclusive covers. You're not going to get this metal cover anywhere else. The metal cover tier also comes with a coin. I think actually starting at one of the,
it's the $30 tier and up.
$30 tier and up, you're going to get a coin. And I'll pin our Good Boy unboxing in the comments so you can check out the cool stuff we got with that one. They've got 3 or 4 stretch goals unlocked already.
Yep.
And the coolest thing about this is going on right now. This one ends March 10th. This is going on right now, and they have started their cross-country tour for the first Good Boy. So it's only going to be Dr. Christie and Garrett, but they're traveling around the country to comic shops, and they're going to have some really cool, I think it's a like black and white blood foil.
Oh, yeah, I remember those. Garrett shared the photos of those, I went nuts.
Exactly. And lucky for us, March 1st is when they stop at our store. I can't tell y'all how, I think I speak for everybody here. We are so excited to meet them. We are so excited to meet them. Like, I don't even have nerves about meeting them. I am just literally so excited to finally meet these folks. Because a lot of these creators and stuff that we talk to, you know, it's always face to screen, screen to face. Seeing and meeting them face to face, for me, is going to be awesome. And I told Dave Lentz, because I talk to him occasionally. You know, I try to talk to as many creators without bothering them as I can. But I was actually talking to Dave this morning, and I was like, one of our goals is to take one of our many covers or ash cans, which we still have many of the ash cans, and have the entire Good Boy team sign it. Not sure how we're going to get that done, but
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We may just text Kit on Facebook or something like, hey, can we mail you the book? Because Kit is actually in the UK, for anybody who doesn't know.
Yeah.
Just mail you the book, can you sign it and send it back?
Yes. That is one of my goals for us, is to get the whole team to sign one of our covers of the dozens of covers we have of this book.
Yeah. We have become slightly obsessed with this series.
I bet. I bet.
But like I said, to me, this is the best thing going in comics. And I really am looking forward to the second arc, because the first arc for me, when you talk about story arcs in general, I have books over the years that I've read where like certain volumes have seemed better than others. But like we all know, I love God Country. That's been like my number one for a long time. Something is Killing the Children. The first 3 trades worth was great. To me, that almost surpassed God Country, but God Country is still on top. Sinestro Volume 1 has been one where I'm like, wow. I really, truly believe that as this goes on, it's still going to remain, and it might actually take that tier.
Oh, wow.
I think that's coming.
That's saying a lot, folks.
I think that's coming.
That is saying a lot.
I have praised God Country for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, since you read it. Since you read it. With all that being said, folks, make sure you stick around to the end of the video. Watch whatever we're going to put there. I don't remember now, but we'll put something super cool there. Stuff in the comments, stuff in the description. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We're out of here. We will catch you next time. Later, tots.